Are you interested in learning how to fingerpick guitar, but don't quite know where to begin? Then this video could be for you. Hi, thanks for joining me at another Great Pickers YouTube channel. Today I've got something a little special for us. Those of you who are familiar with the channel know I don't do instructional videos, but today I've got one that's been given to us and I think you'll really enjoy. And it's on an introduction to fingerpicking. It's been provided to us by a dear old friend of mine, Lou Gillotti. Lou is a professional musician with over 60 years experience. He's a multi-instrumentalist, playing both acoustic and electric guitar, banjo, mandolin, fiddle, even a bit of dobro and bass as well. Lou's style has been influenced greatly by Chet Atkins and also Merle Travis as well, so you'll see some of their influences in Lou's lesson on fingerpicking. So sit back with me for a few minutes and let's enjoy an introduction to fingerpicking.
What did you expect? Beethoven's Fifth Concerto? Okay. Okay, this is an entry level into fingerstyle guitar. What we're going to do is help you develop the independent movement of your fingers on your right and left hand that will allow you to play a melody, an accompaniment, and in some cases when we get done with this exercise, you'll actually be playing three parts. You'll be playing the harmony to your melody line as well as the accompaniment. The basic concept of what we are doing here is to pick the accompaniment notes, the bass line, with the right thumb, and we are going to be playing the melody with the fingers of the left hand, and the harmony notes will also be in there too. The concept is to use chord formations because the chords will contain both the melody and the harmony note, and we're going to be working with one song, as you heard, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or the alphabet song. And we're going to be playing in the key of A and using the simple open position A, D, and E7th chords. Now this E7th chord, you might choose to finger it a little differently if you don't have strength and coordination developed in your little finger. But normally I play this E7th chord using my little finger, and this will be an alternate fingering, and it would be on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So we're going to go through the right hand fingering first. You can play the open A chord, which has the notes on the 2nd fret on the 2nd string, 3rd string, and 4th string together. Some people can play it with 2 fingers, some people play it with the 1 finger for each one of the notes. I usually play it with just the 2 fingers. So from low to high, it will sound like this. The bottom E string, the bottom A string, then the D string or 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string. Okay, and then the D chord, open D chord, you only play 5 strings. So we start with the 5th string, then the 4th string, 3rd string right here, and then the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and the 2nd fret on the 1st string right there. I hit that open by mistake, but anyway, that's D. And then our E7th chord, this would be your open E chord like this, but for our purposes we're going to be playing E7th, so I'm going to play the 1st fret on the 3rd string and the 2nd fret on the 5th string. So that much, that actually the 4th string is open, and that gives us a D note, which forms an E7th chord, but we're going to play that E7th note. It's also a D note that we had up here. It's on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And you can play it, you'll have to play that with either your 3rd finger or your little finger, whichever is the most comfortable. Okay, for the melody notes of the song, we're going to start on the 2nd string, the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. So each one of the melody notes in this song is hit twice, except where there's a rest. So it's like twinkle, I can't even play this. Okay, twinkle, that's the 1st string open. Then on the 2nd fret on the 1st string. It's hard to say the words instead of singing them, isn't it? Okay, let's do this again. 2nd fret on the 3rd string is twinkle. Then the 1st string open, twinkle. And then we're going to change to the D position and do it within the chord, because when we put the whole thing together, you'll understand it better, and you'll also have the melody note already, the harmony note already available. So those 2 notes are going to be on the 2nd fret on the 1st string, and then we go back to the 1st string open and think in terms of this as being on the A chord. Okay, and then this is the melody note for the change, and it will be played against an E7th chord. Okay, and then it's the 2nd fret on the 2nd string, and the 2nd string open, and back to the A chord. Okay, now right now we're going to switch to the right hand. These melody notes, so we'll run through this one more time. We'll play through it. Okay, now let's switch over to the right hand, and if you haven't already started learning to pick using your fingers, then this is where you're going to have to start working. If you're used to playing holding a pick, you would have to pick with these fingers, these 2 fingers. You can still do it, but I would recommend, if you're serious about playing fingerstyle guitar, to whether you use a pick or use your thumb bare, is to learn to work with your thumb independent of holding the pick. So what we're doing when we're playing what we just played for the melody on the right hand is we're going to pick, and for a song this simple, to get the idea of playing a bass line and a melody at the same time, don't worry about playing a particular like alternating your fingers or anything like that. You can do this even with all 1 finger. I would say it would be a good idea to practice it first with 1 finger, okay, and then try using other fingers. Try using your middle finger and even your 3rd finger, but you can even try alternating. As you get on further with your playing, you'll find advantages to this. Okay, so this is what the right hand should be doing. Just get used to the feel of picking with your fingers instead of playing like with the flat pick, this sort of thing. Okay, now what we're going to do on this song is, as you're doing this, when you start playing the accompaniment, we're going to use our thumb to play those bass notes. Now, for this song, you can play, when you're picking this note, there are 2 beats for each one of these melody notes, and you only need to play the accompaniment note. It only needs to be played on the downbeat. So what you're going to be doing is playing, in other words, your first accompaniment note you hit at the same time in unison as you're picking the first note of the melody. So you only pick with your thumb once, but you pick twice with your finger for the melody notes. And then the same thing when you pick the next melody note, pick your next accompaniment note. And then we're going to switch to playing a D chord. I goofed. I'm so used to doing that by habit. So let's do that again. We pick the melody note twice and the accompaniment note once, but the first one is picked as a pair. They're picked in unison. Okay, so we're alternating the that's what the accompaniment notes would sound like individually. But essentially, if you think of each one of these as being played against the chord where the melody note is, you should be automatically hitting the right bass note and the right melody note. Obviously, we're not going in true classical technique, classical guitar style, but essentially for the type of fingerstyle guitar that was made popular by Chet Atkins and Merle Travis, the right hand technique is much like this, except that the alternating bass, even to putting your hand on the bridge so you get kind of a dead sound, a muted sound. Once you learn how to do that downbeat, the next step is to play that alternate bass note like this. Okay, and that's what I was, force of habit, was trying to stick in there before. So what it will sound like is when you add that alternate bass note, you get okay. So now what we've done is gone beyond leaving the single note, the single bass note. Let's try it again. Okay, we're adding that note, so now we are playing two unison notes. That's played, and we move the thumb up, so we're actually picking two notes together each time. Okay, that's basically where we're at. And now if we can get the long shot of both hands together, you'll see what it looks like all together. Here we go. Okay, now the only thing that's left is if we want to put two fingers together, put our first and second finger together, and pick a pair of strings instead of just one string. Pick two strings together, and you can hear what it's going to sound like. We're going to be playing melody and harmony at the same time, which will sound like this. Okay, and then when we add the thumb accompaniment, remember now we've got melody, harmony, and bass. So it's going to come out like this. So if you're not sick of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star by now, you will be by the time you get it down. And some of the things that I've already done from force of habit is ad-libbed a little bit. And that's fair. Experiment and see what you can come up with, maybe with some chord substitutions. Something like go from the A to the A7. D. Instead of hitting E7th, hit a B minor. And you'll notice that you find different ways of fingering the same chords, and that's what it's all about. But this should give you the basic information that you need to play along and work up the independent movement of your thumb and your fingers so that you can play a number of simple songs like this one, some of the Stephen Foster songs like Camptown Races. If you're a country music fan, Oh Lonesome Me is a good song to practice in the same key, and you can use a lot of these same principles and it would work the same. So drop us a line at High Strung Enterprises and let us know how you make out.